Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Auburn has a new head football coach. His name is Hugh Freeze. We're very familiar with him. All the speculation is over. We were talking about, Auburn had a lot of time to figure this out. John Cohen, Rich McGlynn, Chris Roberts, they had, 3 weeks at least to figure this out. And we said, if Auburn didn't have a coach by Monday after the Iron Bowl, then it was going to reflect poorly on the leadership at Auburn. Lo and behold, Auburn names a coach yesterday afternoon, and, it's one of the three names that we talked about quite extensively. I said Hugh Freeze was probably my first choice. You said Deion was your first choice. There were a lot of people out there that said Lane Kiffin was their first choice. There were some people out there that didn't want any of the three of them. Well, that decision has been made. You can debate about why he should be and why he shouldn't be the head coach. You can debate about what has been done in the past. All that's irrelevant. He is the head football coach at Auburn. This is what it is. So let's move forward.
And let's hope it works out, because we've had 3 coaches in 4 years, and I would like to see one last a little bit longer than that. And I must say I was dead wrong. I said, Deion, please go after him. I don't think the university entertained it much. If they did, it was a couple of weeks back.
Right.
I heard a little buzz around the university a couple of weeks back that he may be at least being talked to, and I don't know where it went cold, but it did. You were dead on, but I think you were wrong too. I think if Lane Kiffin would have accepted the job, he was the first choice. What I'm hearing is possibly some negotiations that went on behind the scenes on buyouts. Well, Lane Kiffin could have been the crux that kept that deal from happening. And if the truth lies in what the speculation was on what he was asking for, no matter what, even if he moved from one school to the next in the SEC, that he would be gifted that full amount of the contract, then the one that I'm cheering for right now? Our new athletic director. I'm glad he put his foot down. I'm glad he didn't sign some asinine contract that you look out at Texas A&M and see what they have. I never wanted Lane Kiffin to begin with. I made it as loud and proud as I possibly could. They can keep him over in Mississippi from now until the end of time, and then I hope and pray that Alabama, when Nick Saban is gone, they go hire that fool to be their head coach. That's where I'll leave it with Lane Kiffin. That's how much I think of him and everything that goes with him. Now, we've got our own coach, and I hope he stays clean. And I hope some of the stories that are sitting in the background aren't any uglier than they already sound, because they're not pretty. But he's our coach now, and I'm going to stick with him.
If you've had 3 weeks to vet,
true.
And now you can't overturn every stone in somebody's life. But again, I go back to clearly he has owned up to the fact, and from what I understand, there was some. Let's be clear about the big thing in the press conference that people keep talking about him saying he made a mistake. It's that he had an affair. Well, he committed adultery. That's what we're talking about. The NCAA violations. Nobody really cares about that
at all.
At all. So we're talking about the personal indiscretions. We're not talking about football coach. We're talking about off the field stuff. It wasn't a one-time thing. He has admitted it. He has owned up to it. Again, his wife and his children have apparently come to terms with it, and they've gone through a very ugly and very difficult process, and they have forgiven him for that. It's not my job to forgive him for anything. That he hadn't wronged me in anything. Now, can you look back? Can you look past that as a fan and say 7 years ago a man made a mistake that millions of other people make every day? I mean, that's up to you.
Some can, some can't.
So that's up to you. You know, that's fine, and you can make that decision. But, you know, he has at least owned up to it. And you say, well, I hope he can stay, you know. Does he have a pattern of questionable judgment? It would appear that he has done some things. But like he said in the press conference, if your life was under a microscope, you know, you might show a pattern of bad judgment too. And who am I to say? So I'm going to concentrate on the field, and until he gives me a reason not to trust him or not to, think that he's on the up and up and he's invested in the players and he's setting a good example. Number one, I think best decision, Carnell Williams, associate head coach. He lauded him. I think that was a no-brainer, but I think to go out and to put that much emphasis on it and to say, I'm going to learn from him, he's going to learn from me, I think that's a great start.
It was a great start. He didn't get 10 words into the press conference before he went directly to Cadillac and applauded the way that he handled the final part of this season, which had gone awry before him. And the fan base got behind Cadillac, and Cadillac seems to be behind this hire. He has agreed to be the associate head coach. I thought it was interesting to hear him say, I didn't know if I'd have to go in there and plead and beg him to hang around, but luckily for me, I didn't have to go in there and beg. He was willing to accept that role, and I think us Auburn fans are very happy to see Cadillac get that, because we talked about 3 coaches that we brought up here. But I think the Auburn fan base, maybe a good percentage of the Auburn fan base, after watching the way that Carnell handled these last few weeks, wanted him to be their head coach. They could buy into what he was selling, could buy in that he could go out there and recruit. So if that's the case, then I think that you've got the best of both worlds, hopefully, here. You've got a guy that has been a head coach, that has won, that is in agreement that he needs Auburn people around, seems to be willing to keep those Auburn pieces around, led by Cadillac. And you got a few more years of Cadillac, hopefully more than what I just said. We've had 3 coaches in 4 years. I hope we keep him around for 6 to 8 years. And if that's the case and Cadillac's groomed and he's ready to go and he's been the associate head coach, then you can roll him right into the role. I know that that's best case scenario, but I think a lot of Auburn fans are looking for best case scenario at this point.
But we got a phone call. Let's go to it. Couple.
I got a couple. Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz. BR, you're on the Auburn Blitz. BR, you there with us?
No BR.
No BR. We'll try to go back to BR shortly. Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz.
Okay, how y'all guys doing today?
We're great, Morris. Glad to have you.
I hate to kind of go, but Andy, I've been with him all along, and I think it's even yesterday I called him. I think y'all got the perfect coach for Auburn. Now, I'm an Alabama guy. I don't want y'all to ever get me wrong. I mean, I believe Alabama, but I got to tell you, I think this will help Alabama more than anything, because I think Saban and his coaches have laxed off a little bit. But if y'all didn't get goosebumps off of that speech that guy gave, and I know every coach gives good speeches, but I've been following him ever since he was at Mississippi State, and y'all got a coach. You listen to the things that he wants to change, and with the players that Auburn can get, y'all got yourself a good coach, I think. And I will say this, I'm sure when we get to playing y'all, I'll say to myself, why did I prefer them to get that coach? But I still say iron sharpens iron, and it will never bother me if Alabama and Auburn at the end of the year are 1-2 and playing like that. So I'm one of them guys. I love competition. So, but anyway, Andy's called it all along, and he knows I've called in several times and mentioned that I thought Hugh Freeze would be the perfect fit. And I tell you what, the guy impressed me this morning. But anyway, I'll let you go. I don't want to stop any of y'all's callers, but I just wanted to put that on Andy's mind this morning.
Well, I appreciate it, Morris. Yeah, I think that you're right, and I don't think anybody could argue with that. You know, the rivalry's best. Auburn and Alabama's best when both teams are something on the line, when the Iron Bowls play. That was so much fun when it was winner goes to Atlanta. That's the way it ought to be, and I got no problem with that whatsoever.
And hopefully that's the case. You know, I'm not looking down necessarily at this hire and going, just give the man the keys to the car. He's proven that he can go out there and win championships. I mean, he's knocked on some doors of championships. I don't know that he's knocked the door down just yet.
No.
So I'm tapping the brakes somewhat.
But championship, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. But the thing that I will say is maybe I need a little bit more of a segment than 30 seconds to explain my thoughts on this press conference today. It was outstanding. He's silver-tongued. He doesn't need notes. My friend, you give him a mic, he can produce. Unfortunately, there's a lot of leaders out there and coaches that given a mic, they can produce. We just left one. Brian Harsin, he could will and deal it as good as anybody when he threw a mic in front of him. But my friend, once that was over with, he didn't have a whole lot to say for himself. So I'm hoping that there's more substance than just talk with Hugh Freeze here.
We got to take our first break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours. Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
No monthly payments until springtime at Glenn Smith in Opelika. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till springtime? New Chevy Equinox as low as $359 a month. New Buick Enclaves up to $4,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $5,000 off.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you, just getting started on today's show. We're brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. For all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area as well as down there on the coast, give them a call today, 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Let's go back to the phone line.
DR, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I really enjoy your show.
Well, we're glad to have you on.
Well, frankly, I was not a big Hugh Freeze fan until this morning. And after watching the press conference this morning, I was extremely impressed with the AD and with Freeze and with his family. And I'm all in for him. And that took a bit of doing, but I'm glad he's there. And I'm ready for us to get going.
Well, I appreciate the call, BR, and I hope everybody would get on the same page with you. And Freeze, like he said, just give him a chance and let him try to earn your trust. And maybe if we can get everybody pulling in the same direction, who knows what Auburn can accomplish.
When you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
That's true.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, BR. We appreciate it. Let's go back to the phone lines. James, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey there, buddy. How you doing?
We're good, James. You happy?
I'm getting like a jackass with a mouthful of surgical steel. Yeah, to answer your question. we just picked a good, solid coach, I think. He looks like he's cleared everything with the people upstairs and with himself and his family and everything else. I thought he gave one hell of a talk. The nice thing about this is he can develop quarterbacks. I know that. We know that. I think you're going to see some familiar faces around because I think he's going to keep some of the staff. I know one he's keeping for sure is Cadillac. But I will say this. I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but we have a chance at one of the better line coaches, and and he knows how to recruit tackles, I guess, and that's Ken Luke. I've heard his name mentioned. I don't mean that that's what he's going to do, but that's a possibility. And I was very, 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 very impressed with his remarks. Now, talk is cheap. He's got a lot of work to do, but you heard him say something that I've always maintained. If you got the right person there, Auburn turns fast. Gus was there at the right time. Pat Dye turned it after a year. Tuberville turned it quick. Terry Bowden had it handed to him. So, I mean, anyway, the point is I'm glad this winter of discontent's over. No more talk about the general. He's a sergeant now, and he's getting his papers Monday. So hopefully that's good. And I'm just tickled. Like I said, I'm just grinning like a jackass with a mouthful of sawbriars. Hell, that's better than surgical steel. But it just makes me feel good, and I think he's going to be all righty. I appreciate y'all's show. I appreciate y'all so much. all of you, even Luke. I just want him to buy the station up here with that young man back here in the back and do something besides listen to me gripe about y'all are on. He has to reboot or something. But he's real nice too. So, Andy, I don't know when you started all this, but they all give credit to you for it. So I'm gonna tell you, they all get some credit from me, but you are the best, and that's no slice on you over there, Randy, at all.
Oh, I agree with you. He's much better than the rest of us, and he's a lot prettier to look at too.
Well, I ain't getting into that now. If y'all into that, I ain't going to change stations. But anyway, hey, y'all have a great day. War down, Eagles.
Thank you, James. We appreciate the phone call. James can call anytime he wants with some positive comments about you like that.
I need that all I can get, James. Tell me.
Calling you on the Auburn Blitz.
Well, guys, how y'all doing today?
Good, Jerry. Glad to have you.
Good. Thank you for taking my call. And, first of all, I think we got a good hire. And I'm really tickled with that. And as time was coming up to this past weekend, and all the word was Lane Kiffin, and the closer it got to it, I just got almost a sickening feeling and pit of my stomach to think about signing whatever. 7-8 year contract with that dude for 9 or 10 years, kind of like what Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M have got. So I did not want to go down that road. If I'd have hired him, I'd have been for him. But I think we got a better coach. I really do. I think we got somebody that pays attention to defense, got a good offensive mind, and he may have had his problems or issues in the past, but haven't we all? I know I have. If I got what I deserve, fellas, I'd probably be out in the woods with nowhere to live, no food, no water, no nothing. But anyway, I'm just glad he's there. Thank y'all for taking my call.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
He says exactly like I did a few minutes ago. If I got to choose between the two of them, I don't want Lane. There would be very few that I wouldn't choose over Lane Kiffin. So I'm glad he's staying where he is. And Hugh Freeze has his skeletons in the closet, and he's tried to expose as many of them as has been asked, I think. So hopefully there's no more back there. And we can move on and start winning football games, start recruiting some of these kids. One of the key moments, I know that we're talking some of the things that stood out during the press conference. One of the things that he said that was most impressive to me is he understands this is a great year in the state of Alabama for recruiting. And he can start getting out and seeing kids this weekend. And he's got to hit the ground running to make up ground. Well, he's dead on. We've been preaching that one for a full year. This is one of the best recruiting classes we've ever had here in the state of Alabama. And if you look down, Auburn doesn't have near enough committed to them. So we got some ground to make up.
And there's two big fish over there at Carver that, have been to a number of Auburn football games this season. They know the team. That'd be a good place to start if you're going to try to rally some momentum here down the stretch. But December 2nd, I think that's when the dead period ends. December 5th is when the transfer portal ends. You got to re-recruit your own team if you're Hugh Freeze, and make sure you want to bring back a lot of the guys that
the ones
were playmakers, the playmakers that were from this past season. So a lot to take in. There's so many different moving parts here, but just the fact that he has a desire to go recruit, and that he will do his best to go out and beat the bushes, that's better than what we have. So it's a step up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for about 30 more minutes. In today's show, brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. They are saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. If you're looking to refinance, Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, is the number you need to call, 256-397-0248. 256-397-0248, located right here in Alexander City. But they service the entire state of Alabama, and they can close loans in about 15 days. So give them a call if you're in the market. Let's go back to the phone line.
Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Yeah, I was holding.
Yeah, Joe, you're on the air with us.
Okay, cool.
What you got for us, Joe? Go ahead.
Well, man, I've been a football fan all my life. Played high school football, went to a little school called West Birmingham Christian. Our coaches never made a penny. These men spent nights with us in the locker rooms. They worked night shifts in the mines to coach us in the evening in our games. We won an independent, but back then it was the Christian school, state, won it several times. It cost these men money to coach football. And Hugh Freeze, the hire, I'm out on it. I don't know. If he's got something to prove and he's doing a lifestyle change and becoming a better man, it could be fantastic. If it's some of the same old, man, Cadillac standing there. It hurts me to know we're picking a man that's had some issues, some of them not good, and we got a man that brought 12 players to Christ standing there in the locker room. I don't think we made a bad decision. I just think that decision is going to take a while to see if it's a good decision or not.
I think that's fair. I think a lot of people feel the same way you did about wanting Carnell to be the head coach. I think certainly I did. When he first was named interim, I thought, that's fine. He'll build a little bridge. I don't think he's ready for this kind of job, but the way that he galvanized the team, even I said, look, if we miss on a couple of these guys, I'd rather have. He went from about sixth on my list to about third in a hurry. So I think it's wonderful that he's still on the staff. I think that's incredibly important. I'm glad they gave him the assistant head coach title, and I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be a big part of it. He's still there. He's still going to be working. He's still going to be influencing this Auburn team.
Yeah, I just feel like his energy is just beyond measurable, and I mean, he's all about Auburn. He loves Auburn. He's connected to Auburn. Auburn is his life. You can't hire a coach anywhere else that has that.
Good points, Joe. We appreciate your phone call this afternoon.
Hey, man, you guys take care.
Thank you so much. I think he says a lot of things that Auburn fans think. I'm glass half fulling this at this point, though, and I think that Carnell getting a chance to be a head coach for the short period of time that he was gives him an insight into what that responsibility will be. I think that he could have taken that responsibility on and ran with it and done a great job with it, but I'm hoping with us retaining him and hopefully some success moving forward that at some point in time he will be the head coach of Auburn, and I truly believe that that will be the case. As long as Auburn has some success right now with him as the associate head coach, because he's got a major responsibility here. You're going to look and see what Auburn does over the next 2 or 3 years, and their success will be pointed to him, not fully, but don't you think it'll be pointed to him a little bit more than it has been with the Brian Harsin previous staff?
No doubt. I don't think that's 100%. And sometimes there's something to be said for thrusting a guy that's not really, while everybody loves him, but he's just not quite ready for it. I mean, Carnell's a young, relatively young guy.
Very young guy. Compared to us.
Yeah. Thrusting him into that job could be a disservice to him, even though it's for the right reasons. Everybody, is doing it for what they believe to be the right reason. So you don't want to stunt his growth as a head coach. You give him a little taste of it as that interim role, and then you bring him along and let him kind of grow into it a little bit. Maybe down the road he gets a job and he goes somewhere else, and he becomes a head coach and does a good job, and maybe one day he ends up back at Auburn. Or like you say, I mean, a beautiful, grand scenario would be, Hugh Freeze does a fantastic job. We win a few SEC titles in 8 years, and then maybe Cadillac, slides into the job. And who knows? That may happen, but that's kind of an ideal world, but we'll see. But that it's just, I think everybody just kind of needs to, take a step back and say, look, okay, this is who Auburn hired. There's nothing to do about it now. This is what has happened. So what do you do? What do you do with it right now?
256-234-6221. Had a lot of phone calls so far on the program. Looking down, got some more. Phone lines are open the entire hour of the show today from 12 to 1. Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey.
Hey, Terry. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Got a question. why is all the Alabama fans so upset about this? I was listening to Feinbaum yesterday. I had announced everything. They lined up and was just trashing the man. They was even trying to throw Bruce Pearl on the bus. Are they getting scared or something?
There could be a little bit to that. That those 2 wins over Alabama, and I people like to say, I mean, that when they went 5-7 his last year, he put up about 40-something on Alabama, and Alabama was kind of fortunate to get away with a win in that one in Tuscaloosa. So he's had that. You'd be foolish. People like to say they don't want to. I would just discount that he beat Alabama a couple times. No, that is part of it.
It is, and it's just a shame that somebody could stoop that low to just come up with just every little thing. I mean, and then as an Auburn fan, I've been Auburn fan back to the Doug Barfield days, but heck, I'm glad that, it gives me some hope to have the man, a guy of that caliber, down there, and just glad to have him, and as an Auburn fan, your heart just bleeds for Cadillac, but I think it all worked out, because I think you said a while ago Cadillac may not have been ready, but he will be one day, and so that's all I got to say, and love the show.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate the phone call.
Got to go to another break. Don't go anywhere. More to come on this edition of the Auburn Blitz.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the river region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you for a couple of more segments in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Been a fun show. A lot of comments coming through. Hugh Freeze, Danny Hugh Freeze Jr., the new head football coach at Auburn University. A lot of comments rolling through as well. Well, I'll just get to these and then we'll talk about it. Jamie says, this is the man, War Eagle. Carnell is associate head coach. Great move, says David. Brian says Freeze knocked it out of the park at the press conference. John says rival schools will use his scandals against him in recruiting, just like Pat Dye used newspaper pictures of an aging Bear Bryant against him at Alabama. Look, everybody uses everything against everybody in recruiting. That is that is true, and that is universal. John says mom and dads of recruits will look sideways as they learn about Freeze's scandals, mark it down. I wonder, I mean, look, I get that, and I'm sure that that's going to be, there's going to be some that's the case. But in-home visits and meeting somebody in person, I think that kind of is the trump card. That trumps everything. And the fact that, you know, all of your assistants are out there recruiting as well. You're playing, you know, for this position coach. And I think once you get, there's a reason Hugh Freeze has always been considered a really, really good recruiter. He's really good at just talking with people and being personable and engendering, you know, whatever that is, that gives you the sense that you can send your child to go and play for him. So we'll see. I think that will certainly be this first year or two. That will be, you know, something that is used against him. But winning cures all else. We've said it 1,000 times, but it's always true.
He had 4 recruiting classes at Ole Miss that are way beyond their norm. He had an 8th-ranked class, a 4th-ranked class in the SEC, a 15th, a 17th, and a 5th-ranked class nationally. That's not the norm, not at that school. And you may say, well, that's not the competition that we're seeing at Georgia and Alabama. Well, I don't think that you can compare apples to apples there. So we all knew that even though he got himself in a little trouble with recruiting scandals, I said this as loud as I could about Bruce Pearl a few years ago. If we're getting on to Bruce Pearl about playing the background game that goes on everywhere in college basketball, count me out. I'm so proud that we finally got a coach that's willing to get out there and compete the way that we knew all the blue bloods were beforehand. Now it's just free reign to go do whatever you need to do anyway. So, you know, I thought a key part of that press conference that I can tell is he's got a lot of confidence in his ability to walk into a living room and sell someone that is the handler for the kid, and those change. That could be the mama, it could be the daddy, that could be the aunt, it could be the grandparents a lot of times. And he mentioned that. And so he also mentioned that maybe for the first time that he would be willing to hire an offensive coordinator and give over the reins of calling plays to an offensive coordinator. He said he's always called the plays. I'm guessing even when he had an offensive coordinator, he was the one to call the plays. He said that he's really thinking about not doing that because of all the effort that needs to go into recruiting and working the portal and making sure that the Bows and the Joes are there where you can compete. So those were a few things he mentioned during the presser.
That was interesting, and then the fact that he said, there are guys out there that I watch and that I have been texted by, and that I say, wow, he may be even better than I am. And for if you're humble enough to say that, here's the other thing too. And I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll even go a step further. Arkansas State. He is the head coach there in 2011. You know what they went in 2010? 4-8. You know what they went in 2011 when he was head coach? 10-2. That didn't happen by accident. Houston Nutt drove Ole Miss down into the bedrock. They were 1-15 in their last 16 SEC games. They were 4-8 and 2-10 his last 2 years. Hugh Freeze is hired. They immediately go 7-6, 3-5, win a bowl game. Go 8-5, 3-5, win a bowl game. Go 9-4, lose. That was when they went 9-4, ended third in the West. They just got obliterated by TCU in the Peach Bowl. I don't remember what happened. That was just kind of an oddity. But, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. It's on the upward trend. He's one bizarro, 1 in a million play. Hunter Henry throwing the ball over his head in overtime on 4th down, and somehow or another Arkansas picking it up and running it in about 20 yards, or they're in the SEC title game. So he has proven that he can build in a big time. That first class when he got to Ole Miss that Houston Nutt basically had put together and kind of, he just salvaged 48th in the country. The next year, 8th in the country. The proof's in the pudding. The proof's in what you do.
And I'd guess the average for Ole Miss before and then maybe not necessarily completely after is what, a 25 to 30th ranked class?
I would think that's probably about right.
So, he outperformed just about anybody that's been there from a recruiting standpoint. So, can he do it here? Well, my friend, he's behind the 8 ball with this year's class. You look down at that 48. Where's Auburn right now? About 70?
We got 13 recruits, so we've gotten some more since the last I looked.
Maybe into the 50s?
We may hope, maybe. We'll see.
I'll
look that up during the break.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. One final segment of the Auburn Blitz on the way right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you, closing things out in the final segment of today's show. Thank you so much for the phone calls. Thank you for the comments. This will be an ongoing story for – that's what I was talking to people yesterday, and, of course, when the news broke, we actually – you guys were texting me at noon, and we were, saying this, and then officially it didn't break until a couple hours later. But look, we'll put a pin in this, and we'll talk about it. I said to begin with, and you and I had this conversation. You were talking about, look, Hugh Freeze, I'll let you say it, but silver tongue, but that didn't mean a whole lot. It's about substance. I thought Hugh Freeze was the best value for Auburn. That Lane Kiffin was going to cost Auburn $10, $11 million. I didn't think he was worth it. I thought you could get Hugh Freeze, who I thought was even a better coach, a little bit better coach than than Lane Kiffin, for about $6 million, and apparently that's about $6.5 million. So now, would Deion, would that have been that probably would maybe have been the highest possible ceiling, but I'm not sure. The basement's unknown on that as well. So Hugh Freeze, I think what you're getting as far as a coach is concerned. I think he's a guy who is adapted, who can work with dual threat quarterbacks, who can also put a guy out there that can throw it for 4,000 yards. So hopefully that was the bugaboo about Gus Malzahn. He couldn't adapt. Hugh Freeze seems to be able to do that. He can put a defense on the field. His defenses have been pretty decent. There again, that was a mark for him above Lane Kiffin for me. So now, if this comes back, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll be looking for another coach in 4 years or so. But I think you gotta all be a little bit patient here, because I think we all know, even with the transfer portal, this situation is not going to be an immediate fix.
Is he Gus Malzahn 2.0? A lot of questions around that. Here's a couple of positions that I'll watch in the recruiting ranks to see if he is or he isn't. Can Auburn go get a 5-star wide receiver? Someone that he can sell on coming into Auburn and receiving 1,200 to 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. So far we haven't. So far we haven't been able to sell that. I mean, top passing quarterback in Auburn history from a season standpoint is Damian Craig, and right under 3,300 yards and 18 touchdowns. So who's the last 1,000-yard receiver for Auburn?
That'd be Ronnie Daniels.
Long, long time ago. So
1999.
Auburn's got some selling to do there, and he did prove at Ole Miss that he could go out there and get guys that were top-notch receivers to commit to him. Offensive line. Can he sell 4- and 5-star offensive linemen on a system that actually is sellable to the NFL? That's a must. It looked like by the end of the tenure for Gus Malzahn, it was unsellable to offensive linemen that you could come to Auburn University and become a top-notch NFL offensive lineman. At least he didn't sell it to anybody outside of Braden Smith the last 6 to 7 years that he was there. So those are two positions that I'm going to watch on the recruiting front. Back to your comment, I thought his press conference was really, really, really good, but I'm over those. Like, I can listen to all the press conferences that you want. You know, here I got caught up heading into the Iron Bowl, going down the old wormhole of past Iron Bowls and wanting to watch. I'm a history buff, so I wanted to watch some old history games. And I got caught up in some Bear Bryant shows. And I was thinking to myself, because there were some Auburn fans that would come up to me and they go, you know, I love Cadillac, but sometimes when he's up there and he's talking, he's just not as groomed as some of these other guys. He can't spit it. You know, he's not a silver-tongued bandit like Hugh Freeze and Brian Harsin and some of these old leadership quality guys and culture spinners that they spin out there. And I was listening to myself, and I got to thinking, who in the world thought Bear Bryant was just some silver-tongued whiz? He mumbled through all his words. He had a great way that he kind of carried himself from a personality standpoint. He forgot just about all the players' names, forgot a lot of where they were from. I watched 4 or 5 different, and nobody ever did any better. So I'm kind of over the guy standing up there and preaching to me. How much substance do you have behind this? I think Hugh Freeze can recruit. I really believe that. And it will all tell really quickly as an Auburn fan base if that guy can go out there and pull some guys into Auburn that are interested in some other programs in the SEC and have those type of offers. We'll know within the first few weeks if he can pull that off, Andy.
Yeah. And again, you know, a formidable matchup against Georgia. So
get their running back back.
They do it. They beat the fool out of Ohio State without their number one.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has Auburn lost their number one tailback and fell apart?
And what about Lincoln Riley? USC, did you watch that game?
I did.
Is there any part of you that didn't think with Caleb Williams back there at quarterback they can't compete with an SEC school?
It told me that Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman.
It told me that, but it also, watching them, it tells me that if they don't get over the hump this year from a defensive standpoint, they can't stop enough of the Georgia-type teams out there, it won't be long. You know, they're just one sitting out there in the wings, kind of like I've said about Tennessee and Nebraska for many years. Get the right guy in there, you can sell that program. I'm hoping the same for Auburn.
Now, there's one thing Ryan Day and Lincoln Riley got in common. Neither one of them's won jack yet. No. So they look good. And if you want to win a Heisman, you go play for Lincoln Riley. I mean, that seems to be the guarantee. But we'll see if they win. Happy birthday today, Vin Scully, the great Vin Scully.
Do you think he's the best?
Yes.
I do too.
No, I mean, dude did it by himself. No color man for 25, 30 years.
And I'm a big fan of his replacement, Joe Davis, who was with the Montgomery Biscuits, and we got to know him several moons back, and he's as good as they have in the business.
Absolutely. Nobody really cares.
No. Go USA.
Go USA. About to take on Iran. Win in your end. He's Randy. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.